This episode starts with Reed in the lab trying an experiment on broccoli, a literal broccoli using artificial cosmic to alter its genetic structure. The purpose of this experiment is to isolate the transformative energy inside of Ben, so Reed is actually trying to help Ben and make him human again. However, his speech about how to make this happen gets interrupted by the broccoli growing bigger and bigger, then completely explodes. The system then warns of energy overflowing in the lab. As the energy or flames grow bigger, and Reed orders the system for an immediate emergency shutdown. Everyone is on the floor. While Johnny asks Susan if she is okay, she notices that he can go invisible. She can go on fire. Reed is now a rock instead of Ben. And apparently his experiment is successful. Ben is a human once again, but stretchy. It's like they switched powers and everyone is going nuts. Everyone is now wondering how can they control each other's powers. Then a gate opens up, and Reed decides to go out there to see if the people are okay. Ben is certainly enjoying this transformation into a human, while the rest are struggling to control their newly switched powers, especially Susan. Reed tries to move around and destroys everything around him and interrupts Johnny and Ben while fighting to tell them there is another energy spotted in the city, and they should go and check it out. The Fantastic Four will head to the new location. On the other hand, in a strange place filled with aliens, a strange woman, and Dr. Doom appear to be talking about the Fantastic Four and their movement. Dr. Doom explains how it will take Reed some time to understand what he is doing to the city, but by this time, his fate will come to an end, and orders a group of Doombots to observe them. Back to the city, going into complete chaos because of the strange energy targeting the people and the buildings in New York, the Fantastic Four splits up to figure things out, only for Johnny to forget he has lost his powers and jumps from the plane, but saves himself at the last minute. The energy continues to target the people, and Susan tries to contain the energy, but fails miserably. Unfortunately, Ben and Reed land and try to save as many people as they can. However, they keep forgetting their powers have been switched, but something interesting happened. Not only did they switch powers, but also personalities. Ben is now as intelligent as Reed. Reed is hungry. Susan's behavior is out of this world like Johnny, and Johnny is respectful, weird. But because of the mix of powers, no one can't seem to focus on solving this issue or saving the city. But Ben hints at Dr. Doom being the reason for this issue, and Reed decides to go after him. Dr. Doom notices that the Fantastic Four are not themselves, and orders his strange woman to destroy them completely. The Fantastic Four then fly to get to Dr. Doom's weird place. As the energy continues to grow and hits many places and buildings, the Fantastic Four are thinking about their plan to take Dr. Doom and the energy down, and Reed explains how he can take this energy to his lab to do the same experiment as earlier, to transform themselves back again to their normal superpowers, but explains that it is dangerous because in order to do all of this, they have to be inside the sphere itself. But they were interrupted by something hitting Reed from the back, and they find behind them several Doombots coming directly. Susan and Johnny are enjoying their fight against the Doombots. Ben and Reed, well, not so much, but they did a pretty good job at it. Reed asks Johnny to create an invisible tunnel to the sphere, and asks only Johnny and Susan to get inside. Ben asks him, why is he asking them only? And he explains he is not willing to exchange it again, and that Ben deserves to be a human like them. But Ben seemed hesitated but thanked him at the end. On the other hand, Dr. Doom is launching his power and sensing the three of the Fantastic Four going through the sphere, and all of a sudden they get hit by a Doombot. Ben enters the sphere, and now he is stuck with them, and will return back to the thing again. Reed successfully demolishes the sphere, and everyone is back as normal with their superpowers. Dr. Doom promises this is not over, and will take revenge from Reed Richards. Chaos in the streets of New York with a strange sphere once again. Like in the previous episode, the Fantastic Four wonder if it's Dr. Doom's doing again, but Reed explains that this energy is different, and it's not destructive. While Reed tries to warn Susan to leave, the sphere absorbs Reed, Susan, Ben, and leaves Johnny alone. On the second thought, it absorbs him as well. The gate takes them to a weird planet, the negative zone with the weird bugs. As Reed is talking and explaining about exploring this planet, Ben interrupts them uncontrollably while turning bigger and thicker in his rock size. Johnny is feeling extra hot, which is weird already. Reed is kind of melting. Susan, on the other hand, is invisible completely. Reed explains that something is consuming their powers, and they might be totally consumed by it if they don't stop it soon. Johnny suggests they leave immediately, and as they are trying to, the weird spaceship shoots against them, and they split up to confuse it, but they are struggling this time with the overload of power. Johnny tries to hide but gets caught, and Susan faints from the overpowers. Ben is surrounded by monsters, and Reed is stuck and tries to hide, but struggles to move, and then sees his friends get carried away by flying monsters. Another flying monster comes and takes Reed. He is then awakened by the sound of Susan and finds himself and the others in cells. Ben is tied down, and the monster threatens to take their powers away, just because they entered his realm without permission. They try to explain to him that they are not conquerors and they are only exploring. Then a gate opens, and Dr. Doom comes through it and congratulate the monster as his ally for capturing them. Dr. Doom identifies the Fantastic Four as the greatest evil he has ever encountered. Doom explains to the monster how bad they are and how they can take them down. And Susan explains to the monster that he only serves himself and it's only for his own gain. Doom threatens Reed and tells him he will pay the price for what he did. Doom then summons a gate and disappears inside it, and left the Fantastic Four is wondering why Doom is asking for help, but they figure out that it's only for power. They gather around and decide to go after him. Reed and Susan try to talk to the monster, tell him they don't want to take over his planet, and explain to him how Doom is using him. The Fantastic Four and the weird monsters fight. The monster reaches a room filled with energy, only to find nothing of it there. The monster tries to flee away, but they catch him. Reed explains that the energetic sphere doesn't only absorb them into the negative zone, but can turn the entire city and Earth into the negative zone. If Doom uses it on Earth, Reed shows the rest what he had prepared to stop Doom, and the monster agrees to help them stop him. Back to the city, where Reed tries to reach the system and asks it to cut the powers, and the system claims that there is someone outside, and then crashes down once Doom shows up. Doom is going against everyone in the city, and even the buildings with the energy he stole, but the Fantastic Four appear and fight with Doom. Doom hits Susan and Johnny, but Reed tries to talk some sense in him, but instead, he gets stronger against them. The Fantastic Four are struggling to keep the mess together and not to destroy the city even more. The monster enters and stops Doom successfully, as they go inside a gate, and the city is now safe. I really like these two episodes. The transformation of the Fantastic Four superpowers was a chef's kiss. I would have loved to see more of it. Or some kind of a mix. Maybe Ben could be invisible, and Susan could be a rock. It would have been really good. As for the second episode, the return again of Dr. Doom being responsible for everything bad in the city has become very predictable. I think I would like to see a new villain. This brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me, what do you think of these two episodes? Do you wish to see a new transformation for the Fantastic Four? Which one of them would you like to see taking other superpower? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.